you'd seen this one. Kind of popped up out of nowhere at the last minute. 20 yards from the stand. No blood. I think I missed.
October 31st, Halloween. Nice 8-pointer on the ground.
Look at the size of this sucker. Thing is huge, huge. One of the good places to look for sheds is obviously where the deer bed, because they spend quite a time. I just noticed some beds right here. Coming off the field, there's a huge trail coming down through the woods, but some of them veer off this way. Probably going to work this side hill out a little bit. And as you can tell, where they've been bedding, they got it dug right down to nothing. And I've actually, one of the biggest sheds I've ever found, I found right in the bed. So it's a good place to look for them. Food sources, travel areas, and bedding areas. And I know it sounds like it covers everything, but there's a lot of room out there. And this time of year, especially this year, you gotta get on them antlers before the squirrels get on, because an antler can be gone in just a matter of a day. And I know these ones come off in the last few days. Spot right up here, 2 years ago. There's a spot where the creek's kind of deep and they jump the stream. And a lot of times when they jump the stream, when they hit, sometimes it jars them loose. Sometimes it's just a couple feet afterwards. Sometimes it's when they jump. So any creek crossing is a good spot. Just working my way up this side bank, checked on these pine trees. I see an antler laying right here, and what it is, it's where the water comes off the hill and it opens up little green spots quicker. I don't know what buck that is. Looks like a big round antler, but there's not a lot of points on it, I don't think. Oh, it's half of the double brow tine buck. There it is. Oh yeah. Yepper. And this deer right here, if I can get on there, show it to you when I grab it. Yeah. It's got blood on the base, so it's got a little bit. Oh, he almost had another point there. All right, first shed antler 2021. It's a buck I called the double brow buck. This right here, he lost that when it was in velvet. Got a lot of pictures of him, but there's my first one. And if you look how that's got green in it and it's open, we had all that snow, but this is a wet spot, like a little swampy area, and it leaches up. It doesn't freeze the solid, so it unthaws quickest, and there it is. So one down. I want the big one. From where I'm getting the pictures on the field after dark to where we just set a tree stand for Levi to hunt off tomorrow morning, unfortunately the wind hasn't been right. We did it a week or two ago. The wind hasn't been right. Tomorrow was a perfect wind. I checked the cameras today. Every rack buck has lost his horns, and this is one of them. But we've been getting pictures of him going by that stand. That's 3/4 of a mile. So they're feeding on a field way down that way, working this side hill and going up through. So I'm hoping the big one that we always get pictures with too, the big 9, the notch-eared 9 I call him, I would love to find his antlers. He's a 130-inch buck, and next year he's going to be a stud. One down, a whole bunch to go. One of the things about hunting shed antlers, and one of the biggest things, and my cousin Bob's one of the best shed antler guys I mean, he finds dozens a year, and is putting time in. He puts hour after mile. I primarily look for sheds where I hunt. Now he'll get permission and go on places he doesn't even hunt because he just loves the antlers. We all love the antlers. But when you find it from a buck like that little one laying right there, you find that from a buck, you know, it's even more special. And it's funny that this antler stands right here. It is right here because this same buck stood right here, and 30 yards away we got a tree stand, and Levi shot. This deer ducked about 18 inches, 16, 18 inches, and he shot right over him. and away he went. But this is the buck, and I just brought his antler back right to where he shot him, or shot at him. And it's embarrassing for him to see that, but we all know, man, if you've hunted any time at all, it's gonna happen.
Hey.
That's all right. Dude, that happens. It happened. I looked up and I see this rack coming. He's not as big as the last one, but he's a quality 8-point. I'm gonna run out of arrows. Had been a few hours, 2.5 hours. I found the one shed antler up on the hill, and I walked. This is my tracks, and I was just coming back up through here, and check this out. I walk a little closer to the camera, and there lays a little antler. And this is the little guy. Oh, I know exactly who he is. He on the other side he's got a Y, and he's almost got a little point, but last night I had him with both his antlers on. Now I gotta go through the pictures and see if I can happen to find him with one missing, because I'm talking to camera right there. Antler number 2. It's a little bit smaller. Using a trail cam is a great way to know when the antlers fall off. If you notice, this heavy trail, been a lot of traffic on this deer run right here, and especially earlier in the season. It's January 10th right now, and the antlers come off early in my little area for some reason this year, quick. High stress, deep snow, but these little paths like this where the deer walk every day to come to a food source, if you can follow them back through, especially in this goldenrod stuff, because the sun gets to the ground a little quicker, melts the snow away, and the deer can come up through and pick them little pieces of green grass. And the same thing where I found that antler, around that bank right over there, where the water had come down through and washed the snow away, and the green grass sticks up. So just a little tip that, you know, just instead of just walking aimlessly, look for specific things. Heavy trails where they've really been feeding a lot, places where they've been bedding. Now you're going to get some deer that are going to go down through something like that where there's hardly a track. There might be 1 or 2 sets of tracks, and they could lose their horns. But the best part to do right now, especially when the snow's on, because when there's no snow, you're looking for a white looking antler. With the snow, you're almost looking for a darker look. Just going through this heavy brush, and you see this tree, it's down, it's a top from an ash tree they logged out. And anytime a deer has to jump over something, whether it's a tree, whether it's a string like we looked at yesterday, there's a chance of them jogging loose an antler. So it's always good to look on both sides really close. And alright, I'm going to work my way back up over this bank, and then I might do some trails in my woods with the 4-wheeler, because the snow and ice is tough to walk in. So alright, shed hunting. I'm on my 4-wheeler, and what I like to do is I like to take all the trails I can take looking off the 4-wheeler. And that way all the trails in my woods and the property that I have permission to be on are gridded off into 4-wheeler trails. And I hit the jackpot. There's a big wide 9-point that I've been after for a couple years. And I'm going along this steep bank, and I look underneath this hemlock down here, and you can't see it probably, but I see one of his antlers laying there, thank you Lord. And he was bedding right here. We have a stand 200 yards up there, and we have a stand about 500 yards down there, so we knew he's working this edge. And I'm gonna shut the four-wheeler off. A lot of people say, oh, it's cheating, walking, you know, looking for sheds off a four-wheeler. But I'm telling you what, you can cover a lot of ground quick. And when they start dropping off, the mice and the squirrels will eat them up so quick. But thank you, Lord, I've been losing sleep. Even last night, it was getting dark. I looked out the window and I said to myself, his antlers are laying out there. We got to find them. This is awesome. And it's a bed. He lost it right in his bed, and there's a good chance the other one lays right here too, so I got to keep my eyes open. Oh, man. Squirrels ate that G2 right off. Look at that. There's probably 4 inches of antler time gone. This is his 4-point side. This is the buck I call Notch ear, and this is the side the notch is on. That's a good one, and he's going to be a stud next year. This is the trail camera picture I got of the buck that I call the Notch ear. You see the notch in his left ear there, and he grew a lot from last year. This is a picture last year I had. You can see the notch, but you can also see how much mass he gained.